Hi student, welcome to botany class. Today we are going to see the life process in bacteria. So actually bacteria, it will be do the various life process, like it will be grow, but it is a unicellular. So here the growth is consistent increase the population, and it do the metabolic activity. What are the metabolic activity will carry on? For example, the respiration. During the respiration, what is happen? The food material are oxidized, whether completely or incompletely. As a result, the energy is released. This energy is utilized for the various activity or metabolic process of the bacterial cell. And then it do the nutrition, where it get the food material. So the bacteria is come under the kingdom Monera. So all the monerans are prokaryotic unicellular. Whether it is a photosynthetic or non-photosynthetic. So the bacteria include both the photosynthetic form and the non-photosynthetic form. Now photosynthetic form, they can prepare their own food material, whether by using the light energy or chemical energy. And now most of the bacteria, it will do the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. That means they depend on other organisms for the food material. It may be in the form of parasite or saprophyte or symbionts. So, the next life process, that is a reproduction. It do the asexual and the sexual reproduction. But the bacteria, it do not form the any gamete. Instead of that, it will be transfer the genetic material from one bacteria to another bacteria. So it is considered as a sexual reproduction in bacteria. So various type of sexual reproduction is occur, like conjugation, transformation, transduction. In asexual reproduction, the binary fission is a very common type of asexual reproduction is occur in bacterial cell. Conjugation, Gonadea formation is very rare, Gonadea formation, and endosperm formation. The endosperm formation, it will be formed only during the unfavorable condition. So these are the subtopics we are going to see under the life process of bacteria. So growth is one of the life process, but it's a unicellular. Here the growth is consistent increase the population. Stimuli is one of the life character of the all living organism. The response to external stimuli. The homeostasis, it is one of the life character or living character of the all living organism. That is the balancing the all metabolic process or internal condition. The balancing internal condition corresponding to the external condition. That is a homeostasis. That is a balancing the living status, especially the internal environment status in response to external environmental condition. So like that, the various life process, it will occur in the bacteria. Even the movement, it is also one of the life process. Excretion, it is one of the life process. But here we are only discussing the respiration, nutrition, and the reproduction. So these three important life process now we are going to see. So first one is respiration. Already I told you. What is the respiration? Very simply, we can say that the exchange of gases, intake of oxygen, release of carbon dioxide, that is a respiration. So this is considered the organ level respiration. For a human, we have specialized organ, that is a lungs. So lungs is mainly held for the exchange of gases. It is an organ level respiration. Inspiration and expiration will be carried out. During the inspiration, the oxygen is intake. During the expiration, the carbon dioxide is released. So this is called organ level respiration. But in plant and the unicellular organism, the respiration, it will be in the form of the oxidation of food material, as itself they get the energy. So how the food material is oxidized? Whether in the presence of oxygen or absence of oxygen. Based on that, it will be broadly classified into two categories. All living organisms. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration means the food material are oxidized in the presence of oxygen, as itself it releases the energy. Anaerobic respiration. During this process, the food material are oxidized, not completely, incompletely oxidized. In the absence of oxygen, as it releases the energy. So bacteria, it do both the respiration, aerobic and anaerobic, both the form, it will be included under the bacteria. Okay. So now we enter the topic. So during the process, the food material are completely or incompletely oxidized. That is very important. Complete oxidation means aerobic. Incomplete oxidation means anaerobic. Clear now? Complete oxidation means aerobic. Incomplete oxidation means anaerobic. As a result, it releases the energy. Energy is formed in the form of ATP, adenine triphosphate. Okay. This energy is used for the metabolic activity, for the reproduction, for the growth, for formation of the protein, for cell division. So everything, it requires the energy. This energy the bacteria get from the oxidation of food material, whether complete or incomplete oxidation. The bacterial respiration is a cellular level respiration. That is very, very important. The bacterial respiration is a cellular level respiration. Because the bacteria do not have any specialized organ like the lungs. Okay. Because it's a unicellular organism. The respiration is carried out in the cell level. That is a cellular respiration. It unlike what? It's a eukaryote. Because the eukaryote, it have mitochondria. Mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell, we can consider. Why? Because it produces a huge amount of energy, ATP. ATP is a energy currency of the cell, or energy coin of the cell. Energy currency or energy coin of the cell. It will be ready to give the energy for all metabolic activity. Okay, so huge amount of energy is formed in the mitochondria. So that's why the mitochondria is considered powerhouse of the cell. It only present in eukaryotic organism, because the mitochondria is a double membrane structure and a semi-autonomous organelle. So what is a semi-autonomous organelle? Because it has a small amount of the DNA. So the small amount of DNA. The mitochondria is partially depends on the nucleus. Not entirely depends on the nucleus, only the partially depends on the nucleus. We already know that, you learned in the lower class. Nucleus is a controlling unit of the cell. It will control all the activity of the cell. But the mitochondria, it is partially depends on the nucleus. Why? Because they have their own DNA. And then the mitochondria is absent in bacteria. Instead of that, the mesosome is present. Actually, mesosome is a localized enfolding structure of plasma membrane. So the mesosome here is resemble like a mitochondria. So what is the role of mitochondria? It will produce energy. So the same it will be carried by the mesosome. Because the mesosome is contain all the respiratory enzyme, whatever is required for respiration or oxidation of food material. So all the respiratory enzyme is present in the mesosome. So here the mesosome, it resembles like a mitochondria in eukaryotes. But in prokaryote means that is a mesosome. It's a respiratory organ of the bacteria. There are two types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. Already told you. The food material, it will be oxidized in the presence of oxygen, that is aerobic. During the aerobic respiration, the food material are completely oxidized. Food material are completely oxidized. During the anaerobic respiration, the food material are oxidized in the absence of oxygen. That is incomplete oxidation will be carried out. As a result, it produces energy. So that is aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So first we are going to see the aerobic respiration. It resembles like a higher organism. The aerobic respiration is occurring in 4 stages. Stage 1, glycolysis. So during the glycolysis, the glucose molecule, it will be broken down into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. And then oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvic acid. It is a stage 2. Krebs cycle is a stage 3. ETC, electron transport chain, it's a stage 4. Okay. So here the glucose under the glycolysis is converted into pyruvate. Now the pyruvate is entering the Krebs cycle. It will be completely oxidized. And finally it will enter into electron transport chain. So during the oxidation of the pyruvate, the indirect energy is formed in the form of NADH2, FADH2. It's an indirect energy. It must be converted into what? ATP, because ATP is a direct energy. This NADH2 and FADH2, it will be oxidized in electron transport chain. So during the electron transport chain, the NADH2 and FADH2 are oxidized. As a result, it will be released the electron and the proton. So this electron is released from the NADH2 and FADH2 is finally accepted by oxygen. So suppose the oxygen is a terminal acceptor of electron in electron transport chain. Oxygen, because in the electron transport at the final stage the oxygen is ready to pick up the electron from NADH2 and FADH2 and get the proton from NADH2 and FADH2 and finally convert it into water molecule. Okay. So in molecular level, we can say that the anaerobic respiration is required the oxygen as a terminal acceptor, electron acceptor. But in anaerobic, there is no electron acceptor. It's not grow under anaerobic. This kind of the bacteria, aerobic bacteria, is not grow under anaerobic condition. That is the absence of oxygen. Anaerobic condition means absence of oxygen. Example, Streptococcus. Obligate aerobes. So it's very strict. In the absence of oxygen, the bacteria will die. It very strictly. Some Micrococcus species is obligate aerobes. They must have oxygen to survive. If the oxygen is absent, means the bacteria will be dead. That is an obligate aerobes. Next, anaerobic or anaerobic. So do not use the oxygen for the growth and the metabolism, but it's obtained the energy from the fermentation reaction. So what is the fermentation reaction? So here the pyruvate in the presence of oxygen is entered the Krebs cycle. In the absence of oxygen, it will be entered the fermentation. It may be, that is the pyruvate may be converted into lactic acid or ethanol. If converted into pyruvate, converted into lactic acid means it's a lactic acid fermentation. Suppose converted into ethanol means it's a ethanolic fermentation or alcoholic fermentation. Okay. So the pyruvate in the presence of oxygen is entered in the Krebs cycle. In the absence of oxygen, it will be entered for fermentation process. Okay. So the absence of oxygen, the growth and the metabolism, but it's obtained the energy. Okay, the entire bacteria, it will be surveyed in the absence of oxygen. Where it get the energy? By the process of fermentation. So here, the glucose, it will convert into pyruvate. Now the pyruvate, whether it will be converted into ethanol, that is alcoholic fermentation. Suppose converted into lactic acid or lactate mean, that is a lactic acid fermentation. Depending on the organism, it will be varied. Okay. So the pyruvate is converted into lactate mean, that is a lactic acid fermentation. It will be converted into ethanol mean, that is a ethanolic fermentation. So here the overall reaction of anaerobic respiration. So here glucose is directly converted to carbon dioxide and ethanol and energy. There is no the presence of oxygen. There is no involvement of oxygen. Facultative anaerobes. So it's like a dual role. So this bacteria is first survive in the oxygen. It will survive in the presence of oxygen, and it will be remove the entire oxygen in the particular place. As a result, the particular place is converted into anaerobic environmental condition. So later this bacteria is act as anaerobes. Beginning it acts as aerobes because it is the oxygen, and it's remove the oxygen in a particular place. As a result, the bacteria in the particular environmental condition is become anaerobic environment. So this is a condition is held to the survival of many anaerobic organisms, many anaerobic bacteria, and it causes the disease to the living organism. That is a facultative anaerobes. So in the presence of oxygen, it uses the terminal acceptor, that is electron. In the presence of oxygen, the terminal acceptor of the electron is oxygen. And in the absence, that the same bacteria is using the fermentation reaction to carry out the energy. That is anaerobically. In the presence of oxygen, the terminal acceptor is what? Oxygen. As a result, the complete oxidation of food mineral is occur. But in the absence of oxygen, the pyruvate is converted into either ethanol or lactic acid. That is anaerobically. From that they get the energy. That is incomplete oxidation is occur. So in the present at the site of the infection like the abdominal abscess. So abdominal abscess where the bacteria is present in the abdominal abscess is rapidly consume all available oxygen. Listen, is rapidly consume all available oxygen and change to an anaerobic environment because it's remove all the oxygen in the particular place. As the particular place is become anaerobic environment. So this allow the anaerobic bacteria to grow and cause the disease. Example for facultative anaerobe, Escherichia coli and Salmonella. So these two act as a dual role. In the beginning, it will be what? Act as a aerobic because it is oxygen as a terminal acceptor of electron. Later, when all the oxygen are removed, the particular environmental condition is become what? Anaerobes. At that time, it act as a anaerobes. Escherichia coli and Salmonella. Capnophilic bacteria. It is another type of bacteria. It will be grow only in the abundant amount of the carbon dioxide is present. So this bacteria is require the carbon dioxide for the growth. So where the abundant amount of carbon dioxide is there, in particular place, the bacteria is rapidly grow. Okay, so that is a capnophilic bacteria. Example, Campylobacteria. Campylobacteria or bacteria. So that's all about the respiration. So what is the respiration? The exchange of gases. In cellular level, the food mineral are oxidized as it release energy. There are two types of respiration is present in bacteria, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic means the terminal electron acceptor is oxygen. Anaerobic means the terminal acceptor is not the oxygen. So here the fermentation process occur, as a result it get the energy. The organism get the energy. This energy is used for the various metabolic activity. And we can see the special form, that is a capillophilic bacteria. It will grow only the abundant amount of carbon dioxide. Where the abundant amount of carbon dioxide is there, the particular place only this group of the bacteria it will be grow and survive. Now we are going to see the nutrition. That is mode of nutrition. How it will be prepared the food material, or how it get the food material from other organisms. Based on that, it will be broadly classified to two categories, that is autotroph and heterotroph. Autotroph means self mode of nutrition. Heterotroph means it depends on the other organism, either causing the disease or symbiotically associated with other organism and get the food material. Okay. So on the basis of the mode of nutrition, the bacteria are classified into two types, that is autotroph and heterotroph. Auto means self mode of nutrition. Hetero means that depends on the other organism. So autotrophic bacteria, it can prepare the own food material. So how? Next question. How they prepare the own food material? Whether they are using the sunlight as a source of energy or chemical energy as a source of energy. Based on that, it will be further divided into photoautotroph. Photo means light. Autotroph means self mode. So here sunlight is a source of energy for the formation of food material. Hemoautotroph. Hemo means chemical. By oxidizing the organic or inorganic material, also they get the energy. So that is the chemical energy is used for the preparation of food material. That is called hemoautotroph. Photo means light, hemo means chemical. Photoautotroph, the source of energy is sunlight. This group of bacteria contain chlorophyll pigment. That is very, very important. The presence of chlorophyll pigment generally is used the sunlight. The chlorophyll pigment only have the ability to harvest the sunlight. Okay, so the photosynthetic pigment is only have the ability to harvest the sunlight. That is a photoautotroph and the hemoautotroph. So first photoautotroph. So here the light energy is used, that is sunlight is used for energy to synthesize the food material. It further divided into two categories, that is a photolithotroph and a photoorganotroph. So what is this? Photolithotroph and photoorganotroph. So both are prepare the food material with the help of sunlight. Both the form is have the chlorophyll pigments. Okay, and what is the difference between the photolithotroph and the photoorganotroph? The hydrogen donor. Because the hydrogen donor is very, very essential to carry out the light reaction. So which is a hydrogen donor? Based on that, it will be classified into two categories, photolithotroph and photoorganotroph. If the inorganic substance is a hydrogen donor, that is considered a photolithotroph. If it is alcohol or organic acid is a hydrogen donor, that is considered a photoorganotroph. Organo means organic. Litho, inorganic. Okay. Photolithotroph, hydrogen donor is inorganic. Photoorganotroph, hydrogen donor is alcohol or organic acid. Okay. So photolithotroph, there are two types based on the hydrogen donor. So this is also classified based on the hydrogen donor. But among the inorganic, which is or act as a hydrogen donor, based on that it will be classified into two types. Green sulfur bacteria purple sulfur bacteria. Green sulfur and purple sulfur. So here hydrogen donor is hydrogen sulfide. In purple sulfur, hydrogen donor thiosulfate. So here hydrogen sulfide. So here thiosulfate. So the PP means photosynthetic pigment. Bacterioviridin is acted as a photosynthetic pigment. So here bacteriochlorophyll is acted as a photosynthetic pigment. In purple sulfur, bacteriochlorophyll. In green sulfur, bacterioviridin. That is very important. And hydrogen donor in green sulfur is hydrogen sulfide. In purple sulfur, thiosulfate. Example for green sulfur, chlorobium. Example for purple sulfur bacteria, chromatium. Next, photoorganotroph. Already we see that the hydrogen donor is alcohol or organic acid. So here the hydrogen donor alcohol or organic acid. Example, purple non-sulfur bacteria, that is rhodospirillum. Listen, purple sulfur means photolithotroph. So purple non-sulfur means photoorganotroph. Okay. Next, hemosynthetic autotroph or hemoautotrophic bacteria. In previous, we have discussed about the photoautotroph. In photoautotroph, they are using sunlight as a source of energy for manufacture of food material. So here, the photosynthetic pigment are very useful for to harvest the sunlight energy. Okay. In hemoautotroph, instead of the light energy, here using the chemical energy for the manufacture of food material. So that's why this group of the bacteria do not have chlorophyll pigment or photosynthetic pigment is absent. Only photoautotroph only have the photosynthetic pigments. In hemoautotroph, it's also self mode. But what is the difference mean? Sunlight and chemical energy. If they are using the sunlight, mean it must be required the photosynthetic pigment. Here it do not use the sunlight energy. Instead of that, it will be used the chemical energy, whether organic or inorganic. How they get the chemical energy? By the oxidizing the organic material or inorganic material. So based on that, this is also further classified into hemolithotroph and hemoorganotroph. Whether the chemical energy getting from the inorganic substance, that is a hemolithotroph. Whether the chemical energy is getting from oxidation of organic molecule, that is a hemoorganotroph. Okay. So it do not have photosynthetic pigment, it cannot use the sunlight energy. So energy is obtained from the organic oxidation of organic or inorganic substance. So it will be further classified into hemolithotroph and hemoorganotroph. Hemolithotroph means the oxidation of inorganic compound. Hemoorganotroph oxidizes the organic compound. So here they will give us some list of examples for the hemolithotroph and hemoorganotroph. So for sulfur bacteria. Example for sulfur bacteria, Diobacillus dioxidans. So here the Diobacillus bacteria, it will be oxidized the sulfur compound. And iron bacteria, it will be oxidized only the iron compound. Ferrobacillus peroxidans. Ferrobacillus peroxidans. Hydrogen bacteria. So here it will be oxidized the hydrogen compound. Hydrogenomonas. Hydrogenomonas. Next, nitrifying bacteria. So they get the energy from the oxidation of nitrogen compound. Nitrosomonas and nitrobacter. So these are come under the hemolithotroph. What are the Diobacillus dioxidans, Ferrobacillus peroxidans, Hydrogenomonas, Nitrosomonas and nitrobacter. So next, hemoorganotroph. Methane bacteria, Methanococcus. So here they are using the methane as a organic compound. For oxidizing the methane compound, they get the energy. Acetic acid bacteria, Acetobacter. So in this group of bacteria, it will be oxidize the acetic acid and get the energy. Lactic acid bacteria, example Lactobacillus. So in this group of bacteria, it will be oxidize the lactic acid and get the energy for the preparation of food material. Next, heterotrophic bacteria. So already I told you, this group of the bacteria is never prepare the own food material. They will be depends on the other organism for the food. So the host organism, it may be alive or dead. Alive means two form, may be causing the disease or it may be symbiotic. That means that is a saprophytic mode of nutrition. So this group of the bacteria, they live on dead and decaying matter. It will be secrete the exoenzyme. This enzyme, it will be oxidize the dead and decaying matter and get the energy. So that is a saprophytic. Example, Bacillus mycoides. And then parasite. It will be depends on the another living organism, either on or inside. By causing the disease, they get the food material. That is example, Mycobacterium. That is a parasite. And symbiotic, the mutual understanding. Both the organism here benefited, both the host and the parasite, both are benefited. But in parasitic organism, only one organism will be benefited. That is a parasitic organism only benefited, the host organism are suffered. But in symbiotic, so both the organism, the two components will be associated. Both are mutually beneficial. Okay. So rhizobium bacteria in the root nodule of the leguminous crop. So here the rhizobium bacteria is fixed the atmospheric nitrogen to leguminous plant. For that, the leguminous plant is provide the food material and the shelter to rhizobium bacteria. That is a symbiotic. So this is a heterotrophic mode of nutrition in bacteria. Thank you, student.